Hi. Last time I mentioned that sleuth should read corporate filings too. This, however, also goes to reading laws. The laws enacted by Congress in the US or parliaments in Canada and the UK. Very few read them. Actually read the laws from start to finish and then ponder the implications. I do. And the last year, I got a surprise of my life, nearly a scare. Why? Because in October, I read the US National Defense Appropriations Act. Not all the details, but a summary and the preamble. And that's of the entire budget of the US military, 900 billion US dollars, or almost $1 trillion. That's 3% of the US GDP, which perhaps adds 5% more, perhaps 8, since it reverberates through defense contractors like Lockheed Martin, which has a $140 billion market cap, or Huntington Ingalls, the shipbuilders, or Boeing, and more. So what about the NDAA? Well, for the first time in history, it was stopped, delayed. And why? Because there was a bipartisan provision in it. That means supported by both Democrats and Republicans that usually fight each other, that unless the Department of Defense comes clean about crashed non-Earth crafts that it allegedly has in its possession, and if it did not share it with Congress, no more money. Say what? Yes, Congress said in the bill, you guys allegedly have hidden crashed UFOs, now called UAPs, and are trying to reverse engineer them, but are not sharing the knowledge. It doesn't belong to you or to your friends, the large corporations. You are our employees, so it's ours. Fess up or no money. And that's when the entire thing was ground to a halt, because the Department of Defense said, we can't hear you, and besides, it's classified, so who are you? A month went by, 2 weeks more, and the money stopped. So finally, grudgingly, the Department of Defense agreed to create a new office called AARO to check into the rumors that it has crashed UFOs maybe. But slyly, the Department of Defense didn't fund the new office, and the bureaucrat it hired had no clearance to read secret stuff. So when they testified before Congress, they could play dumb. We don't know, they said. So Congress stopped the money again and now enacted a new law, the Intelligence Authorization Act. This one for paying all intelligence agencies. And it said that you have 2 months to come clean or it's going criminal. And oh yes, both laws were not just based on rumors. Because for the last year, so say my rumor mongers, whistleblowers were lining up before SCIFs, that's secure confidential information facilities, testifying under oath that the Department of Defense, or really the Air Force, has been lying in its teeth. Other rumors say that a Navy admiral came to the White House in secret and snitched on the Air Force in details. The Navy, as I said last time, is the bureaucratic enemy of the Air Force. It fights it for budgets and people and power. So President Biden, so said the rumors, put his national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, on this immediately to resolve it on the quiet. But the quiet was broken when a high-level whistleblower named David Grush came out and said under oath that it's all true. Under oath, by the way, means that if he lied, he'd go to jail. What he said was the Air Force does indeed have crashed UFOs, and he and its contractors reverse engineer them, and they keep it secret for the last 75 years. And he said, they harm those who talk. Harm as in kill. Say what again? Yes, that's what the whistleblower said. Now, why the risk of harm to whistleblowers? Think of it. Suppose it became known that the deep state has indeed hid the secret of clean energy, which could have kept the planet clean instead of dirtying it with oil. If instead of handling it over so all of us could live better and longer, they kept it for themselves and their friends and for making weapons, how deep do you think the public outrage would be? But wait, surely all this sounds totally crazy. Maybe they all have gone mad? That's always a possibility, but as of now, big-time ambitious senators and important congressmen are coming out and saying to the camera, formally, that they have spoken to more whistleblowers that all say that David Grush is right. However, through all this, the most amazing thing, in my opinion, is this. Like Sherlock Holmes' story, where the clue to the murder was the dog that didn't bark, here too, the dog that didn't bark are the mainstream media organs. None breathed a word about it, as big a story as it was. As of today, they still haven't. Who are these? The New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, Fox, BBC, or in Canada, CTV, CBC, the Globe and Mail, the Sun. In the last two, by the way, I used to have weekly columns, so I know them well and all the reporters. None of these mainstream media vehicles said much about a whistleblower except to ridicule him. So who's right? The debunkers or the whistleblowers? How to decide? My suggestions: go read the latest bill composed by Democrat Senator Gillibrand and Republican Marco Rubio and decide for yourself. Rubio, by the way, is one of the Gang of Eight, by the way, and those who know the deepest secrets of the US and can be trusted with things that no other senator can be trusted with. And as I read the words of the bill, it curled my hair. The bill's incredible specificity of what they want to know and what they'll punish for not telling hints quite strongly, in my opinion, that the senators have become convinced by the whistleblowers. The bottom line is, soon the US Congress will have public hearings about UFOs that have been hidden from the government. But before we go on, why am I interested? Because, of course, there may be lots of profit there for those who are in early. Early in what? Well, some of the urban legends said that a UFO crashed in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947, and the man on the spot, one Colonel Philip Corso of US intelligence, later claimed in a book, which you can get in the library, that the technology gleaned from it was whispered in the ears of defense contractors, and this technology brought us integrated circuits, transistors, fiber optics for communications, and other technology. The latest rumors from my own rumor mongers say that memory metal patents also came from there, and much more recently, a new type of material which is based on a carbon derivative stronger than steel and lighter than aluminum. So as a former rocket scientist, I'm very interested. So I checked. Who are the owners of the patent? What do you know? NASA and the US Air Force, and a few connected VC friends. So you see why I'm interested? Let's say that Lockheed Martin, LMT symbol, is sitting on a lot of alien technology it cannot use, or at least not too fast, because Congress has been kept in the dark about its source. Or as its CEO said coyly, I'm quoting, there are programs that we can't share yet. End of quote. But now, with the latest law, Lockheed's top executives know they have 2 months from the bill signing to come clean or they land in jail. So if and when this technology comes out, it can dwarf AI as a market mover. Am I making too much of it? It's possible, but I don't think so. At any rate, don't take my word for it. See for yourself. Go read the latest intelligence bill and decide. Then wait for the congressional hearings where more whistleblowers will speak. I predict fireworks. Can you imagine the impact if there's even a hint of a potential of clean energy that costs very little, or other fancy technology coming up? But impact on which stocks? Well, Lockheed Martin, LMT, is a $140 billion market cap. Any impact on it would be proportionately small. But there may be other companies out there, smaller, who could benefit. Like which? I don't know, but there are persistent rumors that a private company has retrieved a UFO on its own and it kept quiet about it. Will it come under the law too? At present, this is unknown, but I am very interested and you should be too. The way I see it, the AI market craze could be dwarfed by a craze of UFO technology. Or is my tinfoil head showing? A year ago, I'd have said yes, but now I am not sure. The stigma of discussing UFO is fast fading, and the proof is that more and more of Washington's rising political stars are jumping on the bandwagon, or sooner or later, the mainstream press will likely follow. Why don't you get a leg up on them, read the bill, it's online, unredacted, and decide for yourself. That's all for now. Please let me know what you think of the above, and if you like it, please subscribe and retweet to all your friends who they're subscribed to, and buy my book, The Advanced Truth Investor, and write a review for it for Amazon, which I hope will be a good one. I'll see you next time, and meantime, thank you very much for your attention.